my lords, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome back to Japan and Transport Fever 2 as we continue the playthrough on the custom-made map, the Gorges of Shikoku. Today we're starting having a little ride along on the stone freight line that we set up in the previous episode that travels between the quarry outside of Iwanomori over to the industrial park that we have at Uejima. You may be able to tell from the cargo items in the bottom left hand corner that this train has had a consist extension, and we've had a few extra wagons added onto this train. If you remember, we did unlock a rather powerful, relatively so I should say, for our current situation, a relatively powerful locomotive that can really eat into some long wagons and pull a decent amount of weight. So because of that, I've decided to extend the consist on this train. As we can see, we can now carry a total of 240 units of stone per journey, and as we can see there, it fills up rather quickly, and the train is already on its way back to Uejima. It'll be interesting to see what sort of speed this train is able to achieve now with the extended consist. As I said, it is a relatively powerful locomotive. It's certainly the most powerful locomotive that we have access to at this early point in the game. So we'll keep an eye on this and see how it does on any gradient changes that it's going to tackle as it travels through this rather hilly stroke mountainous terrain that it's got to traverse. In this episode, we did discuss the potential for expanding the town of Izumimachi. That's the smallish town just beside Uejima there. It requires an influx of goods in order to stimulate some further growth, so we're going to have to start shipping some steel up to Uejima. Now, we do have the steel outside the Awatahama already being produced, and at back end of the last episode as well, we future-proofed our iron and coal delivery lines by giving them the new locomotive as well, and extending their consist to increase the rate and the throughput without sacrificing too much speed and power. So now that those trains have been expanded and the capacity has been increased, we should be able to afford to supply two towns with the steel. At the moment, the steel being produced is only going into the manufacture of machinery. However, we are going to need that steel, as I just said, to manufacture the goods that the town of Izumimachi does require for some extra growth. So we're just coming into the station now at Uejima Terminal, and we'll see how much money this expanded train is going to make us. We can see one of the brick trains there waiting for a delivery or for a load. So let's hop off this train so we can see just how much money it is going to make with the extended consist. Let's just increase the speed to get him onto the end of the platform that little bit quicker, and we'll see what it's going to do for us. There we go, 3.4 million, that's lovely. Now, at the end of the last episode, during the cab ride that we took on the Northern Shuttle service out of Mima, we did unlock another bus. This was all done during the cab ride, so the notification didn't appear on the screen. So the first thing we're going to do is swap out all the Gaggenau C40s for the newly unlocked bus that we have. I can't remember the name of the bus, but what we'll do is we'll go through and select all of our bus service lines that we currently have set up. Once we've got them all selected, we shall swap out and do a bulk swap of all of our services, the vehicles on our services. That should be all of them, 87 in total. Here we go, it's the Fuso B46. So the Gaggenau carries 8 and has a top speed of 25. The Fuso carries 10 and has a top speed of 31. It's also got a ever so slightly faster loading speed and ever so slightly lower emissions. So 11 million to replace all of those buses. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll also bump up the maintenance for these, since they do run through the town centres. It would be nice if we could tackle some of the worst elements of the noise pollution in these towns. Not that it's overly concerning, but why the heck not? We're on easy mode. We've got 1.5 billion and we're making a healthy amount of cash per year, so we can afford to spend a little on the maintenance front. Okay then, so back to today's plans. So yes, here's the Zumimachi, here's the goods. We have a goods factory down here that needs the steel. Now, as I said, we do have steel over at Yamatohama, and I did future-proof the two services that are supplying the coal and the iron, as I just mentioned, to make sure we have a decent amount in stock so we can easily supply two different industries with the steel. Now, we're going to need, I dare say, a new platform here. Let's just have a look at this. What services do we have coming in here? So we have fuel being picked up on platform number 1. We have the iron and we have the coal being dropped off on platform 1 or 2. And the machines are being picked up on platform 3. Yeah, given that we're going to be having a train that's going to be waiting for a full load, hopefully, of steel, we don't want to occupy any of these platforms that are already in use, because we don't want a train to be waiting for steel, which it can't receive because this service here, this industry has no coal, and the coal can't be delivered because the train's blocking the platform waiting for the steel. So let's see, can we, I've never tried this, put any platforms on the, oh, we could have a little off-center platform. Let's just have a look at this. We want cargo platforms. Now, we can't put any down here as we can see, so we're going to have to be a little bit creative and do something a little bit different here, and we're going to have an asymmetric station at this point and have a platform like this. I think that should be long enough. And then if we get the tracks, we may as well go for the catenary at this point. And if we run the tracks down there, yeah, I think that platform should be long enough for a decent sized train. We can always expand it in the future. So we'll have that for now, sort of like that. So we've got this asymmetric looking station at this point, which looks quite nice, a bit different, a bit unique, it's quite nice. And then what we'll do is we'll put some, what's this? Oh, that's track for girder bridges. We don't need that. Oh, we have high-speed tracks. Not necessarily going to need these at this point, but it's nice to have them. Okay, this is going to be a little bit complicated, simply because this platform is considerably lower at its end than these platforms, as we can see, and we're not going to be able to get the track up to the level of these prior to this bridge. So we're going to have to do something a little different here, and I'm just trying to think of the best way to tackle this at the moment. So this is our freight line here, and this is our passenger line. So fortunately our freight line is on the outer edge here, which is quite handy. But my plan is, my thinking is to have a junction here heading off this sort of way over the road, and then in down here into the new asymmetric platform that we have. So we're probably going to need to remove these signals here on the freight line. Make sure we're getting the right signal there. It is that one. And then can we do as I just discussed and have a junction just after this bridge with a decent amount of speed. What's that? That's 15 miles per hour. That's pretty good. It's all level, so you're not going to have any strange overlaps. And like that. The catenary wires just terminate abruptly, which is a little unfortunate and a bit awkward, but there you go. And now, can we have you come out here? In fact, let me just check the terrain here. So our tracks here are 91-ish meters, around about 90 meters. And over here, we're at 29 meters. Okay. I think the best thing to do is to bring it from the station end into here. Look at all the traffic here. This is crazy. I think that's because obviously we have removed some signals here, and the next set of blocking isn't until after the bridge, so we might have to look at increasing the blocking along here, but that's fine. So let's close that map overlay, and we'll bring this out. So that's up to 40 meters already, which is quite high. Now we can't build. Okay, this is going to be a little bit awkward. See, that's going to snap into the road, which we don't really want it to do, because that's a bit too. It's going to be far too low to climb up in time. So we're going to have to do a little S-bend in this, have it curve this way to then start curving back this way, and that's going to be a little bit strange. Okay, maybe we'll do it from this side then, see if this is going to be better for us. So if we bring this guy straight over, we want to get to about, what was it, about 10 meters. So we've already lost around about 45 meters there, 35 meters there. Okay. Let's set you to a steel bridge, just so we actually have a bridge, and we can see where the feet are going to be. See there, bridge pillar collision, we don't want that. Like so. How would that do? Should be okay, he says, hopefully. Let's mirror that up now, or double that up like that. Yeah, we're a bit tight here. Can we do it in a wanna? We can. Let's give it a nice tunnel there. It's not too bad. 54 miles an hour is the slowest we hit, which isn't too slow. Now we're gonna have, in fact, we're gonna have to bring this line in prior to the tunnel, simply because if we do have a very long train and we have our switch right here, then it's gonna overhang the switch and not be able to do what it needs to do. So we have to have an extended run of single track here, which is fine because the trains are going to be off of the main cargo line over here, so I'm not going to interfere with anything at this point. So we're going to have to do. How does that look overall? Not too bad. I think it's the best we could do without sharing a platform. I mean, we could just go ahead and share a platform, of course, but I'd rather not, because I don't want to risk anything holding each other up and collapsing the entire chain. Right, I'm going to put some signals in now then. There's not going to need too many down here, just enough to get them off of the main line and somewhere for them to stable up while they're waiting for any other trains to get loaded. Okay, there we go. I've increased the blocking along this little corner as well. I did try and put some along the bridge here, but most of the places were given as a bridge pillar collision. We can get a couple in here and here, but anywhere on this stretch it does create a bridge pillar collision. Okay, so that'll have to do. Everything seems to be flowing now, but obviously these are still waiting while one enters and exits the station, which is, you know, that is what it is. Okay, now can we set up the line then at this point? So can we go from Myoten steel mill? You're carrying steel, so you've got the correct colour already. You've chosen platform 4, which I believe is this new asymmetric platform we have just generated. And can you come all the way through here, over here? Where are we? There's Mima. That's quite pretty with the you see the lines but not the terrain. That's rather interesting actually. I never noticed that before. Anyway, at least we know where we were. We are over at Uwajima, and you're coming into this station here. Can you do it? You can. What platform are you going for there? Let's just give you a temporary different colour so we see where you're going. Okay, you're going into there. Okay. Can you use any other platform? You can use fourth. You cannot reach next. Okay. Terminal 1. Oh, that's that one. Terminal 2. What about Terminal 3? Can you do 3? That's the wrong station. Let's try the correct station this time, shall we? Yeah, you can do 3. Are you at the right station still at Yokohama? Let's just double check that. Let's see here. Yes, you are. So you're doing wonderfully well so far. Let's give you an unlimited wait time. Full load. We are loading steel, of course. And over here, there's nothing you can bring back, I don't think, at this point. Not unless you do some weird detours. So we'll just have you unload steel and nothing else. And this will be our steel freight line. And this is from Myoten over to Uwajima. There we go. Now, it already has a connection between the industry and the station, so we don't need anything in between, running between the two buildings, so to speak. That's all covered off already. So, by my reckoning now, we should be able to go straight in to purchase our train, and we are going to use that beastie train that we unlocked last time out. So here's our freight train depot. We want buy vehicles, locomotives. There we go, the Russian class FD. Looks like a proper steam train. Obviously, they all look like proper steam trains because, well, they are. But, yeah, when you think steam train, you think a big, powerful, multi-wheeled loco. And, yeah, that's the one for me. For now, until we get something better, we are ticking through the eras. We're into September 1933. Anyway, enough babbling. We want flat car with side stakes. You want to be a silvery colour for the steel that you're carrying. Let's see here. That's 3... 240. What would that do? Ooh, probably still go even more than that. Let's go another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we go another 2? What's that? Should we keep it at that? 95 seconds. That's pretty decent, isn't it? 324 capacity, so very high capacity. We might even get away with just one of these. We'll start with 1, and if we're not meeting up the yearly throughput on here just because of the distance we're travelling, we can always slightly reduce the consist and double up the trains and try and balance it that way. But for now, we'll go for 1. You're going on this line here, and away you go. Let's have a look at this train as it leaves the depot, because it's I don't know if it's the longest train we have on the network, but it's certainly up there as one of the longest. So let's just appreciate this train for a moment. Uwajima looks rather nice in the background there, with all the high rises appearing, giving us a nice city skyline. The train is still making its way out of the depot. It is a long old consist, this one. It looks like the wagons are still concertinaed all the way back as well, so we're not even at the end yet. Oh, here comes the last one now. It stopped concertinaing. Oh, that is an exceptionally long train. That's got to be the longest train we have on the network, surely. It's finally cleared the depot. Look at that. That's a proper train, isn't it? That is, yeah. It's exactly what we need for such a long haul service. Anyway, enough about that, and enough of pausing it. So that's the steel coming down. We should, in fact, we could probably go over to Yokohama and check if the steel is already being produced on the station. I'm hoping it is. Oh, it won't be yet. Of course it won't, because the steel isn't... the station at Uwajima here isn't within reach of this station here, so there's nowhere for the steel to go. So we're going to need an intermediate delivery line getting this steel from the freight hub over to here, which is not a problem. We can do that nice and quickly. In fact, I'm also going to upgrade some of these small roads that we have here. If we can get the bigger roads in, that would be fantastic, but we might not be able to do it in all locations. Yeah, for there, for example. But over here we certainly can, and these are all upgraded anyway. So these ones, what run between the industries, which we can't quite upgrade, we'll use the smaller of the country roads, but that looks a little bit better. That, however, does not. Can we upgrade that little bit there? We certainly can. That was a bit odd, wasn't it? Right, anyway, yes, we need to do a drop-off, don't we? We need to do it rather quickly. So we want a, where are you? Truck unload point. In fact, we may as well use this station. Does that station reach? It certainly does. That's wonderful. Right, so we're having a new line that's running from, we may as well use this one. That's sitting empty now after we remove these stone haulage vehicles. So we want to go from there to there. You're going to be, we'll give you a darker silver so we can see you nice and clearly. What are you doing here? That's fine, I guess. Yeah, that'll be fine. What the heck? Over at the freight hub, we want it to be fully loaded. And you're only picking up the steel because we've got quite a few goods being exchanged over there. So we want to make sure you don't do anything silly. Well, you may as well bring back the goods as well, now that I think about it. Yes, but we're not wanting... Yeah, that's right. Unload steel, load goods, and then make sure we actually unload goods there. We'll not wait for a full load here. This will be the steel goods shunt, and this is Uwajima. No need to put a capital W, of course. Yeah, that'll work. We're not going to go mental with the amount of vehicles we have here. Where's our depot? Oh, here she is. Cargo. What do we have? Well, these are much of a muchness, aren't they, really? We'll go for the Benz. And we'll go for 10. Buy 10 of those. Can always play with the numbers a little bit later. We'll go for the very high because Uwajima has expanded down here, although I don't think these are residential buildings, but what the heck. Steel and goods shunt. Away you go. Are you going to need some more machinery delivery vehicles looking at you? I think you are, aren't you? You've got quite a gap and we've got a full platform here. Let's just give you an extra 2. See what that does. Everything else is fine. The bread isn't overflowing or anything. While we're here, we may as well also upgrade these roads as well, because these are the small rubbish roads. Some of them we can't upgrade, but some of them we can. Well, not to the best roads anyway, but there you go. You know what I mean. Yeah, there we go. So now we should have steel being produced over at Yawatahama, and we'll have a quick look at that. Anything? No? You don't want to do it, do you? Uwajima Goods Factory. So why are you, at this point, not calling for steel? Is it because you are calling for steel, however, you've got no iron to make them the steel? Is that the problem? Don't pause it. That's going to solve nothing. What's... Could just be that. Did I set the line up correctly? Let's verify, shall we? Manage the line. So at Uwajima Freight Hub, full load, that's fine. A full load of steel and then unload goods. Yes. At Uwajima, unload steel and load goods, but you're not waiting for a full load there. Just load if available. So that's fine. This has connection to this station. This has coverage of this factory, so the vehicles we have used, they can carry the cargo. Yeah, all cargo types, so that's not it. Maybe it's just they are just waiting for the orders to come in. I don't really know. Let's just... No, we'll keep it at 1. We'll come back to it in a little while. Now, we also need plastic here. Now, do we have to do anything? Because we know that we have the refined oil being dropped off here. In fact, we have a shipment just arriving right now. Ah, that's a problem. You see, yes, there's no reach between here and here. Perhaps there could be if we... Not upgrade. If we do this... If we put that in there... And then that in there. Is that enough to make you reach? It is. So, as far as I understand it then, this should now receive a portion of the oil that is delivered. Perhaps not as much as the fuel refinery gets. I'm not sure the calculation behind it that the game makes when determining the split between the industries. But there's no reason this should not now receive some of the refined oil that we are shipping in to turn into plastic, and the plastic will then... Would I have to actually physically run the plastic from there to there? Or... I'm going to have to experiment with that. Before I do that, I'm going to have to remove that bit of terrain there, because that was weird. Yes, I don't know if that plastic will automatically transfer to there, or if we need to intervene to prompt it to do that. It's not urgent. And I'll probably experiment with that between episodes. It might just be that we need a truck station or some sort of platform receiving or some goods receiving facility of some description to prompt the game to say, oh yeah, I'm making plastic. Oh yeah, I need the plastic. Let me have the plastic off you. We shall see. Right, let's head back over to Yawatama's steel mill, see what's going off here. Right, you've had no iron delivery yet, but I'm guessing we have one on the way somewhere. Let's have a look. In fact, here we go. Look, here's one on its way now. So let's go to 4 times acceleration while this train makes its way in. Although, given how much is going off on the map at the moment, 4 times acceleration isn't that fast anymore. That is the one problem with megalomaniac size maps. They very quickly start to crawl to a grinding halt, which is frustrating. Well, there you go. So once this train delivers its full load of iron ore, are you then going to trigger some production of steel to be brought back into Uwajima? Let's see what happens. In the meantime, can we upgrade that train at all? What do you have on at the moment? The Class SU. Is that the fastest we have? I can't remember. Yes, it is. So you're fine. Right, so here comes the iron ore. Just under 10 million for that delivery. So you're now producing. So some, in theory, should start to be brought onto this platform here. Why are you not doing that, my friend? What's wrong with you? I failed to see the problem here. But it's not having it, is it? Oh, yes it is. So where's the steel going then? We've got 11 to be shipped. But I can't see it anywhere. It's not been mixed. It can't. Has it been mixed in with? No, it won't have been. Will it? Will it? Oh, here it is. It's just very small against the machinery icons. And where actually? Oh, here it is. Look. Oh, look at that. Lovely. It is working. It's just not calling for a lot of steel. The game is diverting or prioritizing most of the supply over to the machinery factory, which is fine. That is an established production chain after all. What are you waiting for? Nothing. You're on your way now. Thank you very much. Let's see. Where is our ungodly length train that we've just created? Let's see if we can spot her on her way over. So it's not... Oh, is that... No, that's too small. Far too small. Where are you? No, you're too small. I bet it's one of these here. That's the one. It seems to get larger every time I look at it. That's not what she said. Ha ha ha. Anyway, enough about that. Okay, so we'll see what that's going to do. We know it's giving us the steel that we want. Not as much as we would like, but that's fine. Hopefully once the production chain for the goods actually beds in properly, that should increase. So that's all fine. Now, one of the other things I mentioned might be worthwhile exploring. Just make sure there's no traffic jam there. No, there's not. How's the traffic over here? Just very quickly. It's backed up down here, but again we have traffic lights right here. We don't have much traffic up and... What has happened here? Landslide. Anyway, we don't have much traffic up and down here, so I dare say we don't need these traffic lights on this junction. We probably need to keep those ones and maybe those ones, but these can probably go. We'll see what happens with that. Yes, as was another landslide there and there. What's going off here? Ooh, what do we have here? We have the Douglas DC-3, the Zurich, a J&R D51 steam loco, and same variety but with a red plate number. Opel Blitz trucks, 37 miles an hour. You know, they might be better than our existing fleet of trucks. Let's have a look, shall we? So all vehicles, so brick delivery, swap you out. So you are using the Benz side stake trucks, which is this one. 25 carries 8. Oh, look at that, a lot better. So we'll replace you. I'll do the truck upgrades by good delivery type. For example, you know, some of them might be able to have a specialist truck, some of them will not, as we've just seen there. So just bear with me while I get all of these done. Okay, there we go. That's all of our road vehicles upgraded to the new trucks. As we can see, they look rather nice. So that's that done. Now we've got sidetracked. Oh, we've got the new locomotive as well. What was it? About 50 odd miles per hour. That traffic's not really looking too fantastic, is it? I think I keep getting distracted. Right, let's try this. Let's upgrade this road to a extra large capacity street. And can we do that one as well? Yes. And can we do that one? Yes. Let's get some of this main thoroughfare upgraded, shall we? That might help with some of the traffic flow. We can't do that one or that one. That's fine, though. What about you? You probably don't need it, to be fair. Can we upgrade the bridge? No, we cannot. Right, we'll see what that does. It's probably not going to have... Oh, no, it seems to be flowing a little smoother. Anyway, distracted. Stop getting distracted. Yes, we had a new locomotive, the J&R class something, something, something. I don't think it's going to surpass our passenger loco, which is the class SU, which is our default one at the moment, because its speed was a bit low. 53 miles per hour. Interesting. 1280 kilowatts on the power. 146 kilonewtons tractive effort. Oh, look at that, it's, yeah, it's more powerful and better tractive effort than the SU, but the SU just tanks it on the speed. Yeah, we're going to keep the SU, so unless there's one line where maybe where we could use that. Maybe on this little back and forth here between Izumi Marchi and Uwajima. It's only a short run anyway, so the SU is unlikely to get to its top speed along that little stretch. Yeah, let's put it on here just so we have it somewhere. What's it doing? Yeah, 53 miles an hour in 60 seconds. Probably not even going to get time to get up to that, to be honest. And we'll have a look at it because it's a modded, or a yeah, it's a mod train. So it's worth having a look. I should slow the speed down a minute. I think out of all the asset trains, mod trains that I've used thus far, I think they've all been J&Rs. This is my favourite in terms of detailing. It's got a lot more detail on it than the others that we've seen thus far. So, yeah, and it's quite a sleek looking train. I quite like it. As I said, unfortunately, it just doesn't quite cut the mustard compared to the SU in terms of supplanting our existing fleet, but to have it on this little shuttle run between these two cities is probably fine. And yeah, there we go, it looks like a nice train. Anyway, I was getting distracted and I probably talked myself towards the end of the episode here, but I was going to think about where we'd do our little local line down here. Now I said we'd probably come out of Iwanomori, and that will hold true. And I think the plan is we'd come out of Iwanomori into Kokubo, then into Miura, down to Shitaba, and finally into Yusu. We have Kushima here on its little island. We could have a little ferry link across from here to here for that. And if we are clever, we might even be able to get a link in from Uejima to Kokubo as well if we come underneath all of this and somehow get into this passenger line here. No, that's not the passenger line, so here's a passenger line. In fact, that's made it a little bit easier for us. So that's also an option, and then we'll just have a little local service up and around down here. If any of these industries can be supplied locally, then we shall do that. We have food production here, so we can supply Kokubo, Kushima, and Miura. Shitaba Uni Tools. I guess there's not a tool factory down here. There's one over here, though, so we could give you tools. We don't want to overdo it on supplying these towns, to be honest, however. Although this could get bricks on a road delivery line along the coast, that'd be quite nice. Yeah, we don't want these towns to grow too much. I like these to stay quite small and quaint. Little seaside towns, that'd be quite pleasant. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do next time around. As I said, I'm going to also experiment and see if this plastic... Well, there's your answer. It's already being produced. However, it's not being supplied, as we can see. Yeah, no, none to be... Yeah, so I think what we need is a little something something, and in fact we can probably quickly test it right now. Truck station, nice and small, somewhere where it's got a link to both of those industries. So that's got the link there. Will that act as a sort of buffer to hold the plastic to take it over to here? Probably not, but I wanted to quickly try it. Yes, okay. Are we seriously going to have a... Well, I suppose we could have a little shunt service. One station down here and this one here, just picking up plastic and running it over. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. It's a bit weird, but yeah, it is what it is. But we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so yeah, we'll leave it there for today. As I said in the last episode, this week is the dreaded night shift week, so free time and, well, alertness is at a premium this week, unfortunately. But tonight, what date is it today? It's Wednesday, if you want to know what date this has been recorded. Wednesday, the 1st of June, so there you go. Yeah, it's Wednesday today, so tomorrow and Friday are both bank holidays here in the UK for the Platinum Jubilee. So no work there. And then next week I'm off work, so hopefully get back to some sort of normality and get a few more videos out there. The next video I do will be City Skylines. I like to do a 2-to-1 ratio at the moment, 2 Transport Fever to 1 City Skylines. That just keeps it, you know, don't get burnt out by overdoing one series too much without paying attention to the other one. So that's the next video that will come out, and that will probably be either the weekend or into next week at this point. But we shall see, who knows, I might get some free time that I'm not anticipating. So yeah, we'll end it there for today. What should we take a ride on? Well, I'd say we could go on our beastie steel train, but I've got to assume that that's just going to be sat at Yamatohama for the next 5 years waiting for a full load before it departs. Fits on the platform quite nicely. I mean, we could send it on its way now just so we could have a ride on it. It's not going to make a lot of money, but that doesn't really matter at this point. We've got money being made hand over fist from our other lines. Right, what do we want to take a ride on? Do you know, I'm not entirely sure. Go on the ship. Just jump on the ship for a few minutes. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Bit confusing there as to, well, not confusing, bit of indecision as to what we're going to ride on, but there we go, we're going for a ship today. So yeah, all that means for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.